We are live right here, final day from Toronto Comicon. Close enough, 2023. It's been another crazy freaking con. There's only a couple hours to go. It's still pandemonium in here. There's people everywhere. I'm going to just pass the mic around because I think everybody has had a crazy weekend. You start. You tell me what your weekend was like so far. I know you sweat your ass off today, but how's your weekend been?
We've each had our days where we've kind of had to try to carry the load. Friday at least was a little bit, more easygoing with Star Trek. Yesterday, though, the boys did their Predators, and they did us proud because we moved so many people through this booth. People were so excited to see the Predators. I'm losing my voice because I've been doing nothing but talking the whole weekend. And then today it was mine and Rob's turn to carry the load, and we were doing the Bat Universe stuff. So we try to spread around the love as much as we can, but huge shout out to the patrons of Toronto Comicon. They jammed us in there like sausages and sardines, but so many people came through the booth. So many people give us such great props. And for people that were hot and miserable and tired, they still came out and they still killed it. Another huge shout out, too, to everybody that came out for the meetups. The Star Trek meetup was big. The Marvel meetup was bigger. The DC meetup today was the biggest of them all. I don't know how we're ever going to top that. It was absolutely crazy. So many people came out. So if you were one of the people that came out for any of the meetups, thank you so much. If you missed them, you keep an eye open because I think this is something that we might be getting pretty good at and moving forward doing more of. So,
before I pass the mic around, I do want to mention when it comes to the meetups and how well organized they all were and how smooth it all went has everything to do with this lady back here. I don't know if you want to show her off, but Teresa has been a freaking godsend. Not only are her pictures amazing, but she really knew how to get the meetups going, and things were working smoothly. And I mean,
you could almost think she was a professional.
You keep volunteering, we'll keep having you. I can tell you that. Megan.
Yep.
Tell us about your weekend so far.
Oh, so this is my first weekend doing a full con since before the pandemic for sure. I think even before that, I haven't done a full 3 days of Toronto Comic Con in years. So it's been a time. I'm definitely feeling the burnout, but it's been really great being here the whole time. So I am glad I am part of the team because it makes me be social and I enjoy it in the end.
Yeah, what can we say? Every day got crazier and crazier and crazier. I think every day was just busier upon busier upon busier. I always had, Saturday was my best day. I love doing the Predators. We'll keep doing that in the future. It was a little bit different with the booth style this year. We didn't have the back room that we normally have, so we had to live a little bit more condensed, but we got it done. It went really well, I think. And yeah. Our main host just got up and walked away as I was about to pass the microphone around to him. So I'll pass it over to...
I was just trying to get out of the way.
The mouthpiece, because I've already done all the talking this weekend anyways. We do want to hear from you guys. If you guys were here at Toronto Comic Con, what did you think of the con this year? They moved it over to the North Building instead of the South. It definitely changed the layout, the feel, the look, the environment, the culture. Everything changed this year. For the first time in a long time, it's in the North Building. I've heard some pretty mixed reactions about it. Some people seem super excited about it. Some people were not at all happy, but I don't know if those people aren't happy just because it's different. I did have a couple of people come up. Actually, Jake, our friend Jake from London Comic Con, came up and he was like, this is way better than it was in the South Building. And he listed off the reasons why, and it was hard to argue with him about it. If North or South, it definitely feels like they oversold the con this year. I think that's pretty safe to say because it has been thick in here at times, just way too thick, in fact. So other than that, if we can get it to a point where it's a little bit more manageable people-wise, I think this could be a good thing, this move to the North Building. There's not a million escalators. You just come up one level, and then it's all on one big floor. You have more opportunity to see everything without having to traverse great distances to get there. But, I mean, again, we'll see. What's your guys' feedback? What do you think of the layout this year comparatively?
This feels smaller to me than the South Building. I don't know if it actually is. Maybe the people from Fan Expo or Toronto Metro Convention Center can actually confirm that with us. This space feels smaller than the space downstairs. It also feels weird how they set up everything, where you've got different people that are in different areas. What I mean by that is, why is the 501st not with the rest of the community area, right? Like, there was a lot of little awkward things like that I found about the floor setup. otherwise, it was fantastic. The flow of people was really tough. That's the one main thing. And again, I think it maybe have to do with the fact that maybe they did oversell the show.
Yeah, but the aisles, they're so crowded.
But the aisles are so crowded. You can't go anywhere. Like, it's crazy. People are trying to walk through the aisles and see stuff, and they can't because they just get herded through the aisles, right? So other than that, I mean, it was an amazing show. I want to really take a second, folks, to really thank the folks at Toronto Fan Expo. Without them, we're not here, right? Like, without Toronto Fan Expo, who run this event, without them, we are not able to be here. They basically, I don't want to say they fund this, but they run this show, and we don't get a booth space without them. None of us do. So, Toronto Fan Expo, thank you so much for putting these shows every year, 2 shows a year here in Toronto. We can't thank you guys enough. Producer Jen's showing you down our row here. It's been amazing in this row. The feedback that I've been getting from a lot of people is that this specific area has been some of the busiest all weekend.
Yeah.
And that
you
isn't...
can tell when you try and move from the booth.
For sure, and I think that's in big part because of Cosplay Alliance as well. Without these guys, the Toronto Steampunk Society, and the Harry Potter booth, I mean...
Yeah, like Doctor Who Society.
The Doctor Who Society, obviously, right at the bottom.
Everybody together is just bringing all the people.
It really is.
And can we talk about the hottest new thing at cons that I've seen? This Nikon Photo 360
Oh my
booth.
God.
I'm sure everybody, you're probably seeing the social media flooded now with the videos, but that
Yep.
thing is just the coolest feature that I've seen since our booth.
I was going to say, yeah, I think I have like 7 videos from that from the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's in there like mad because it's just so cool.
And here's the bonkers thing. Much like all the videos and photos and such that we were doing all weekend in the meetups, it's free. I don't know how they're doing that free of charge, but there is. It takes 15 seconds, so they put a ton of people through. 15 seconds for a free 360 well-lit video where everyone looks cool, and then you can just park it right on your Reels or your TikTok or whatever. It's genius. It's genius, and it worked out so well.
It really, really, really is genius. We have one of our members missing today. Jamie, unfortunately, had to go back. It is Mr. Harrison's birthday today, so happy birthday, Harrison.
Birthday to
Cool.
you.
I mean, if you want to keep singing, you can go
That's
ahead.
as far as it goes.
The happy birthday, Harrison. Jamie, we missed you today. Thank you so much for helping out. I mean, it makes all the difference when we have somebody here that can take care of the space, that can look after stuff for us when we're out and about. It's really tough sometimes to manage everything. So I can't say thank you enough to Jamie for volunteering her time and doing this for us.
Speaking of thanks, we're going to throw some thanks out.
Yes.
Thanks out. We've got to thank a few different people that really stepped up and helped us out with the booth, because we're only so many people that we can only do so much. First and foremost, has got to be Richard from Bakari Cosplay. He is here today as Hellboy. But in particular on Friday, he was our Borg. He was Locutus Borg here at the Star Trek Day at the booth and at our meetup as well. And I mean, he was such a crowd pleaser and a crowd draw. And then he came back with us yesterday in his Boba Fett costume, looked great. And then today he's sporting Hellboy. But Richard really stepped up and helped us out when we needed it most. And Christina as well, Sheer Creations. Christina is a member of the 501st, she's a member of the Red Legion. She had booth duty with them, and she still found the time to come over and spend time with us at our booth. She was a huge draw. Her Mandalorian is so good. I have no words for how good her Mandalorian is. She was here today with us in her Tusken Raider. She just walked by in her Hoth Luke. It's just crazy how good her costumes are, how well they're put together. And of course, the crew here, Jamie was a big part of it for the first 2 days. We could not have done it without her. I'm not going to drag her on camera, but again, without producer Jen, none of this happens. She did all the organization. She handled all the communication, all the logistics that you see to put all of this together is all from producer Jen. Without her, we are no. What does Steve call her? We call her the goddess of everything.
Steve is online, by the way.
I've been watching this Steve guy. I think he might have some designs on your wife. I'm just saying. I don't know. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Steve, back off.
By the way, hang on. By the way, Steve, big thank you to Steve, Groot in London. Steve, out of the blue, decided that he was going to send us a package with a bunch of moss for the pillars. And Jen, I don't know if you can maybe get a little bit of a shot of the pillars. So, Steve, thank you so much again. You know, He absolutely didn't have to do that, and just sent it out of the blue. So we love the support, guys. Thank you so much. I do need to say, and I think she heard you. Let me sit back down here. We have the best team.
We do. I do. Sorry, I want to give one more special shout out to somebody that couldn't be here this weekend that I know is struggling with that, but it was situation beyond his control. Ed, Snowhawk Cosplay, friend of the cosplay. We've had him on a bunch of times. Always tunes in, so supportive. Unfortunately, he had a bit of a mishap right before the con happened, broke his foot, could not come out to the con. So Ed, I'm so sorry you couldn't be here. You were dearly, dearly missed. Hopefully we get to see you at the next con, and we all get to do some really cool stuff again together. I just want to get that in there before we get too far.
Yeah, Ed was watching when we were live a little bit earlier on Instagram. Sent him some good well wishes as well at that point. But yeah, Ed was really, really missed. Listen, we have the best team at the Geeks & Company. I can't say enough.
Get back online.
Guys, if you weren't watching, JS just went over and gave a big old smoocheroo to producer Jen. Producer Jen was very insistent. She did not want to get pulled in front of the camera today. We are going to respect her wishes. But yes, we would not be here today without producer Jen. Someone get a tissue for JS.
We really would.
No. And let's give some...
None of this happens without her.
No. But we do. I want to make sure, like, the core team has been here and we've done it all through. But I want to give some shout outs to the new members as well. We already talked about the amazing Teresa. I mean, the. Can you come here for a sec?
Pulling her away from editing.
I know the work Teresa has put in this weekend is outstanding. I was very, very fortunate. I'll grab this. Yeah. Come here. Sit down for a second. JS is going to take a second. Teresa spent so much time not just taking photos, because here's what happens. We figured out we needed a photographer. We needed someone that we knew we could rely on. I've had the extraordinarily the fortune to work with Teresa at, I don't know how many events we did together before this, but it was a lot of events we did together where I was just the face and she did all the work with the photography. We had a whole setup. We were touring the country, it felt like, anyway, or at least the province anyways. We needed a photographer. Yeah, we were hours to drive for, we would drive 500 miles with $5,000 worth of equipment for $50. It was crazy. Yeah, it was fun. We needed a photographer this weekend. I suggested to Teresa. We reached out. She said yes, and holy shit. Every single, not just the photos at the booth. We could have trained a monkey to do that. But all the meetups that we did, she took charge immediately, gave people direction, said what she wanted, got in and out, to the point where people are posting, that's how you run a cosplay meetup. Teresa, we cannot thank you enough for everything that you've done this weekend. It's been absolutely insane. Give us an indication. When we reached out and asked you to do this for us, did you think this is what you were getting yourself into?
No. I'm used to the chaos of the con atmosphere and doing photos in the con atmosphere. This weekend has been insane. The feedback has been amazing, and the help from everybody as well, and the organization, even from the customers, from the patrons here, of handing me their phone and trusting me with their phone to take the photo, but at the same time being so gracious to let me take the photo as well so that we can share it on our sites.
Someone's being super modest because someone takes dope-ass photos of cosplayers in environments. So let's not this whole, I can't believe they trusted me to take a photo. Yeah, you think you were a professionally trained photographer, which you are. So having said that, as overwhelming as this was and everything else, is this something that you think you'd want to jump in and do again with us?
I am totally on board for anything. I believe I'm with you for the May the 4th be with you. Yep. And I believe I've already agreed to Fan Expo if we get to be here. Unfortunately, I do have a big book of wedding photos this year. So I think those are the only two that I was available for. but
London Comic Con? Have we talked about London Comic Con yet?
I have a photo shoot. Yeah, I have a wedding that day. But like next year, totally book me in. I will book you guys in, and next year I'm yours.
Thank you so much for everything you've done for this weekend. We really, really appreciate it. JS has composed himself now. You go back to editing because we're just tireless late masters. The other person, the other new person that we have to give a huge, huge shout out to here at the booth and at the con. This is just like fast and furious for a few days, and then we all kind of get a breather. Someone we've added recently doesn't get any breathers because we're just constantly filming content and uploading it to her, and she's spending way too much time editing because we keep coming up with new shows and new segments and new ideas, and we're just shooting raw footage and we're just handing it to her, and we're like, here, Megan, make this palatable for humans to consume. So Megan, you have done so well. You stepped up. We had kind of like an interview process to bring in a new member. We told you what we wanted. We gave you an idea of what the expectations were. You jumped in with both feet, and so far you are fucking killing it. What's it like working with the Geeks & Co. now that you're a full-fledged card-carrying member?
I would say this has actually been very fun. I was a little trepidatious when you were like, here's all the things you should do. I'm like, I can probably manage that, right? Who needs, I'll figure out the time.
Who needs a personal life and a social life? No one needs that.
I mean, do I have a personal life anyways?
You don't now.
I mean, it's been great. I actually went to school for broadcast television, so actually being able to use like editing and doing something with video is really nice because I don't do anything related to that at all with what my job is now, but now I get to put that college degree to good use.
Megan got so into it, she decided, JS and I were having a conversation about something, and she was like, nuh-uh, and she decided to film her own rant about the stuff, the shit talking that JS and I were doing. So
Megan, I think, on the screen as well. Like, she's going to film more of these rants.
Yes, and you are going to see her here at the Geeks & Co. booth as we do these live events. So just a quick catch-up and reminder, guys. We will be at May the 4th in London, Ontario. We're going to be doing a special celebration for Star Wars. So May the 4th be with you. It is co-sponsored by the Geeks & Co., and it's going to be at London Brewing Co-op in London, Ontario. It's in East London. It is a fantastic venue. The food is great. The beer is even better, and the staff and crew there is the best of all. So we will be there. I don't think we're all going to be there. I think we might miss Rob on this one, but it's still going to be an amazing event. By the way, it's free. It's another free thing that we're doing. I don't know how we keep doing free shit, but here we are. It's going to be starting at 3 o'clock. It's going to go to 9. There's going to be trivia. There's going to be raffles. There's going to be prizes. It's crazy. Yeah, the business model. Yes.
I just got pulled onto the train, man.
And most, if not all, the proceeds that are going to be at that event are going to be going to a charity. I believe it's going to be Ronald McDonald House. I don't know for sure yet. We're still in discussions with London Brewing Co-op on what we're going to do for that. But yes, it is going to be a non-profit charity event. And following that, 2 days later, we're actually going to be doing Free Comic Book Day. So we'll just be walking around doing that. And then, of course, the big one for us next, hopefully, cross your fingers, is going to be Fan Expo. And for that, guys, I'm going to reach out to each and every one of you, all of the faithful that are watching now and they're going to be watching in the future, especially those of you that were here this weekend. You saw what we did. You saw how well we did, especially with the photo meetups, especially with the booth. Let Fan Expo know that you want to see the Geeks & Co. at this year's event, at next year's event, at every event. This year for Toronto Comicon, Fan Expo, Toronto Comicon next year, Fan Expo. Work us to death. We seem to love it because we're stupid. Tell your favorite con. And you know what? Maybe put in a word in Niagara Falls Comic-Con too, that they may have dropped the ball by not having us out there because, by the way, we're still showing up at Niagara Falls Comic-Con. They didn't invite us, so we're crashing. Get ready for that, guys. That's going to be quite an experience. I'm going to turn it back over to JS now that he's got a little more composure.
Yeah, I don't know that I've ever crashed a con, but that'll be fun. Yeah. No, I 100% agree. Yep. I've got my own ideas of how to make a big splash at Niagara Comic-Con. Hey, another one we cannot forget about is this other idiot behind me. Again, we looked at the pillars. No, I'm not going to cry. We looked at the pillars earlier. This is 90% Rob. Let's be honest. He put in so much work into these. None of this, what you see here at Comicon, happens this year without Rob. this guy went from knowing nothing about making costumes and props to, I mean, yeah, dude.
It's what I'm good at, apparently. I just see something, figure out how am I going to do that, watch a little bit of videos, do a little bit of research, and a little bit of magic dust, and ta-da!
And some trial and error.
A lot of trial and error.
A lot of trial and error.
Yeah, like what adhesive melts foam, and is it toxic? That was a game we played. Probably knocked a few years off my life, but
It's the years at the end. Who cares? It's the adult diaper kid dialysis years. Who gives a shit? But
It's the years at the end. That's pretty funny. I'm trying to think who else we need to thank here. There's so many people instrumental.
Yeah. Pippa Latex was here today helping us out in her Darth Vader. Michael Icon has been in and out of the booth all day long. Crazy Mike
And his King Shark.
Boy. Yeah, we had
Shark Boy.
and we just need I think I'm gonna have to make a Lava Girl cosplay, a gender bent Lava Girl cosplay to go with the Shark Boy. No. He was King Shark from the Suicide Squad today, so he spent some time here at the booth. Who else? Christina, we already thanked. Jolene was by a few times with her amazing cosplays. Not possible. Just walking by here now was with us a couple of days as well. So yeah, it's just been all the faithful, all the favorites. Loki Quinn cosplay, who
Reed.
every single cosplay. Reed was a huge help at the booth, like just crazy. Big shout out to Toronto Steampunk Society, the Harry Potter Society over there, our friends at the Cosplay Alliance, and even our friends way down there at the Doctor Who Society, putting up with our loud bullshit and shenanigans and how many people we put through this row. Yeah, they were very, very patient with us, and kudos and hats off to those folks. So,
Yeah, I don't know how much more we can say. Yeah, I mean, we're exhausted. Megan needs to get out of here. This has been an absolutely insane weekend. I think, Jeff, you put it best when you said that every single day seemed to get crazier and crazier. Look at it. Like, it's still pandemonium in here. And it's like the end of the day. Nobody's trickled out yet. Oh, look at that Urukai. Holy.
are you a Omer? Yeah. Oh my God! Sorry. I do boring.
Oh, here we go. Guys, the cosplays.
that does it for this podcast.
The cosplays here this weekend have been amazing. The amount of cosplays we've seen come through the booth here that have been absolutely freaking epic. With the Game of Thrones, the House of the Dragon group, that was insane. I know I'm forgetting. There were so many crazy.
So many. We're gonna have some highlight reel that I'll put together. That way we can share some of the things that we saw at the booth this weekend. But there was so much. It's gonna be hard to cut it down into a manageable video and still show how many cool things there were.
Yeah, and FYI, I went out there and filmed a bunch more stuff for you today. So we're gonna have some highlight reels, guys, for you. It has been an epic show, as it always is here in Toronto. But I think that is basically going to be it for now.
Hold on.
No?
There's one more person we got to shout out. One more person we have to thank. One more person who brought all of us together. One more person whose idea this was in the first place. One guy I met at Oshawa Comicon years ago that reached out to me almost 2 years ago now, 82 episodes ago, and said, hey, do you want to start a podcast? Not do you want to make a snowman, do you want to start a podcast? And since then, the driving force, the heart and soul, the meat and potatoes of the Geeks & Co. has been this guy right here, J.S. Belanger, 1701. Do not slight on this guy. Without him, none of the... Producer Jen, goddess of everything, JS is the heart and soul of this operation. None of this happens without JS. His drive, his support, his determination. He is mi compadre forever, whether he likes it or not. He doesn't know that probably, but it is for life now. So he's never getting rid of me.
I'm fucked now, aren't I?
You're totally fucked now. So yeah, huge shout out to JS because none of this happens without him, man, brother. Honestly, you are the heart and soul of this operation. We appreciate you so much, guys. I think we're gonna wrap this up. Megan's got to get out of here. Rob looks like he's as dead as I am, and poor JS here is getting all emotional. So, and Jen's like, you put me on camera, I will fucking kill you. So we're gonna get out of here.
Talk about Jen one more time.
I mean, honestly, it was, I cried, then he cried, then you'll cry, and Yeah, Jen, of course, producer Jen. If we haven't said enough about producer Jen, we can't. If you came by and you saw our booth today, that was mostly because of producer Jen and Jamie as well. She does just a great job. So we're gonna get out of here. See you guys. We're gonna Serafina, how you doing? We're gonna get out of here. We're gonna probably have some tasty libations, and we're gonna start packing this thing up, and we're gonna drive home, and we're probably just gonna pass out for a couple of days. So, any last words you guys want to say?
It's been a time.
Tune in Thursday at 7 for the recap podcast.
That is true, yes.
Stay geeky, everybody.
Stay geeky, guys. We love you. Peace out. I'm sure we forgot to thank somebody.